How are you today? The reason I mentioned fondue is because in my experience, the human bond between people is what makes social entrepreneurship work. Your connection with someone to say, "Hi, do you remember me? We had fondue in Zurich." "Oh yeah, it was." "Listen, can I send you an email to see if we can cooperate in a coffee project in Ghana?" And they said, "Of course." Don't think that, at least in Latin America, it is just business. I don't want to get personal. I have a project, you have a project, let's see if we can work together. There has to be a human touch to this. At least that has been my case. So first of all, I want to thank you for inviting me here. For me, it's an honor, something that, like I was telling my wife, I'm going to Switzerland to talk about social entrepreneurship. And she said, "Watch out. Those people invented entrepreneurship." So here I am, a South American coming to the cradle of capitalism, the cradle of entrepreneurship, the people who saw what nobody saw in the world. There was cocoa, and there was chocolate. My Mexican friends invented the chocolate, but people seem to appear to like Swiss chocolate. What happened in the mind of those people that saw an ancient tradition and turned it into something new? Is it about creating markets? I don't know what it is, but it is seeing what nobody saw. The same thing with coffee. Who came up with this idea of Nescafé? I feel like I'm a shareholder in that company. I have bought so much Nescafé in my life. And so my honor, my respect, my admiration for Swiss entrepreneurship and European entrepreneurship, and this is what worries me. Because I read in the paper, I see the news, and I see that in Spain there is despair. And the young people are angry because they have no jobs. I said, well, hello? And it seems that they are surrendering the essence of European championship, the essence of European entrepreneurship. And so this is all I know about Europe social entrepreneurship. It is the biggest opportunity of the century. And so I invite you to think about Europe, Spanish youth unemployment, migration into Italy, the problem of Greece, the issue of religion. That's where the opportunities are. So I would like to talk to you about my history very quickly because I have 10 minutes already? Whew. So I'm going to go very quickly and then, of course, we can interact. But I would like to tell you my experience with social entrepreneurship. And of course, this is the essence, the issue. She is an ancient figure, a street vendor of fruits. She is nothing until someone said, no, she is not a street vendor of fruit. We have had street vendors of fruit in China, in Hong Kong, in Java, in India, in Egypt, everywhere. No, she is not a street. She is a micro-entrepreneur. What? Yeah. What do you mean? She's just an ignorant, illiterate woman. No. She is a micro-entrepreneur. And what difference does it make? As a street vendor, she is nothing. As a micro-entrepreneur, you can give her a loan. She will return the loan. You can do a savings program. You can do micro-franchise. You can scale up. You can create banks. All because of one idea. So the first thing is, what is the problem and where is the opportunity in that problem? That's how entrepreneurs think. So I started Paraguay's first microfinance program in 1985, 30 years ago. In fact, it was funny because people said, but she's just a street vendor. Why would we want to support these people? It's a plague. I said, no. They are the big opportunities. They are the job creators. And so working with very, very poor people, and we took 15 years after we started our microfinance program, we took the bankrupt technical vocational agricultural school. Africa and Latin America is filled with bankrupt technical vocational schools that have been created by technical cooperation from Europe and the United States. And we said, why don't we apply what works in microfinance to education? And so we have been creating this idea of education that pays for itself. Just like microfinance is a development program that pays for itself, what if education, high-quality education, was good, no tuition, no government subsidy, but the class generated money? And so what we have is a typical, just a high school where they produce yogurt, cheese, dulce de leche, but we also have poultry, we have milk, we have everything. And the classes, they study the technical vocational curriculum, and then they learn also about entrepreneurship and learning by doing, which is a traditional technical vocational, right? And we have added 2 more words to that concept. Learning by doing, selling and making money. And I don't know about your country, but in my country, students love money. So we tell them, how about learning and making money in the process? Raise your hands. Yes. I'll tell you one very quick story. We produce eggs. So the kids have to go to sell eggs to the community. And one boy, and they get 10% commission. So do you think they take once a week a $100 basket of goods that the school produces, right? Do you think they come back with merchandise? One boy went and said, you know, and this lady said, oh yes, I want more eggs. Go back to the school and bring more eggs. So he went running back to the school, and then he got lost. And then we found him in the evening. And I said, Jaime, what happened to you? I forgot to write down the address of the lady. 15-year-old boy. He will never forget. And so we also have a rural hotel and alternative energy. And we sell, and this school produces $500,000 a year. The poorest of the poor, boys and girls, generating $500,000 a year, 0 government subsidies, 0 tuition, just by entrepreneurship. Applying what works in microfinance to education. Just like microfinance was applying what works in banking to poverty. So what, the second lesson of social entrepreneurship, what works in one area that can be applied to the other? Because innovation is right there in the margin, where they touch each other. And this is the graduation of these young women. And then we created a network called Teach a Man to Fish, and we are working with some 50 organizations in 15 countries, replicating self-sufficient schools. It works in South Africa, it works in Tanzania, it works in Nicaragua. And so, very quickly, we learned so much from this project that we are saying, okay, why are there some people poor after working for so many years in microfinance? And so we started asking, why is it that she does not have teeth? Is it her behavior? Is it the system? Is it the culture? Or is it her intention? So we're taking the integral approach. And basically, what are we dealing with when we are dealing with poverty? Are the poor people empty bottles that we need to fill? Or do they have all the money inside that just needs to come out? Remember the lady, the lady at the beginning of the slides? It just depends on your definition. If you think that the poor lady is rich, only that she has trapped money inside. What is your role? To take out the cork. And so basically, throughout Latin America, we have or poverty alleviation through government action or poverty reduction through business, right? But there's a big elephant in the room. And what is that? This is everywhere. What is the elephant in the room? The poor people. We do not know, we do not think it is even possible to ask the poor person, why don't you have teeth? Why don't you have money? And so with technology, we are now not just alleviate, not just reduce, rescue the positive role of the family. Today with technology, it is possible to do what was not possible and use the word poverty elimination, because poverty reduction and poverty alleviation are tricks. They are a mistake because you can always alleviate, what is it, 5%, 7%? No. What does it take to eliminate poverty? We do not do indexes, health, education plus life expectancy divided by 3. We are saying, what if instead of doing the corn cobs, the answer was in doing the kernels? And so we have defined 6 poverty dimensions. We work with some 3,000 groups of women. Now we are working with 40 private sector companies that want to eliminate the poverty of their factory workers. We use a small app to do a visual survey with photographs. And we say, what kind of water do you have? It takes a second to answer. In my country, and of course this applies to every country, having one type of water is to be green, having a well is to be yellow, and bringing water from the rivers. It takes like that. So all you do is just show photographs, and people click, 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 they select, and then they have, each family has a poverty stoplight, a self-diagnosis of their own thing. Why do they show this? Because they usually have many, many more greens than reds. And it becomes the map of life, and we can map it in Google. And this is a typical rural village in Paraguay where, for example, under the question, do you live in a safe, unsafe, or very unsafe home, people say red, yellow, or green. And in the same village, in the same block, you will have 3 colors, 3 different families. And it allows you to come up with a customized program. 2 questions per indicator. Is it worth it? Can I do it? And so, is it worth it has to do with motivation. Can I do it has to do with skills. And we are now working in 18 countries developing poverty stoplights. I'm coming right now of doing it in rural Nigeria. The Fulani people in northeastern Nigeria, they have a different. Everybody knows what it is not to be poor. Everybody knows. You just have to go and ask them what is to be not poor in northeastern Nigeria for a Muslim herdsman. They know. What is to be poor? They know. What is to be very poor? They know. So in 5 minutes, they can really quickly do this and move. This is Paraguay. Move from here to here. Move from that to that. Or have that girl graduate from school. Or have that boy go to university. So very basically, so what is social entrepreneurship? You must start with entrepreneurship. Creative destruction, risk under conditions of uncertainty, and catalyst of economic activity. Social entrepreneurship is not about nonprofits making money. It's about identifying an unjust situation, identifying an opportunity, and finding a permanent solution. And so this is a very, very interesting thing. What is it? Direct or indirect? And what's the outcome? Social entrepreneurship is not social activism. Social entrepreneurship is not about improved services. It is about direct action and creating a new equilibrium. Of course, there are overlapping conditions, and this is something really good. Social entrepreneurship is about value creation for the sake of others, and business is value creation for profit. So social entrepreneurship is about innovation and impact and not income. And with that, I would like just to thank you again for allowing me to share this idea that the answers are under our nose. They're right there. The problem is not the problem. The problem is you and me. We just don't see it. So we need to learn how to do this and look at the same problem from another perspective and ask, what if? What if a street vendor, what if a street vendor was a micro entrepreneur? Thank you very much. Yes, yes. So any questions? Yeah, yeah. Typical. This is a government-approved curriculum. It is for young boys and girls who are over the age of 15. So the International Labor Organization, the United Nations, and UNICEF have approved technical vocational schools. The problem with technical vocational schools, at least where I come from, is that they teach the young boys how to make a table, which condemns them to being poor. It's not about how to make a table, it's how to make money making a table. And so for the same effort, you can learn by doing, selling, and making a profit. And you know what? It works. It works even better. Of course, we have professors saying, no, 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 no. I am the poultry professor, but you don't expect me to go and sell the eggs. Why not? Because I am the poultry professor. I don't know about Switzerland, but we have many mental problems where we come from. Yes. I have a good salary from my foundation. We are actually a 25 million bank, $1 million bank. It's a nonprofit bank. The only angry person with that is my son, who says, we are not going to inherit anything. Zero. It is our, well, we have two ways of disseminating our social innovations. One is through this organization that we started in the UK, and we actually send funds to the UK so that they can go to countries that would not go. And we also have an office in Tanzania with the name Fundación Paraguaya incorporated in Dar es Salaam. Well, these are two different programs. One is a regular educational program. We have 4 self-sufficient agricultural schools in Paraguay, graduating to the community some 250 young entrepreneurs a year in a graduation, and it's self-supporting, right? So these are perpetual schools. Some of the students go on to work in their family farm. Some of the students, they go on to work in businesses. Some become instructors, and some go on to college. But we deal with indigenous people, farmers, and now more and more people from the city want to become farmers. That's the new trend. Right. Exactly. Yeah. And the problem of agriculture modernization is that the young people have zero skills to benefit from modernization. So the thing is, train the indigenous boys and girls to make money in the rural areas. Because, huh? No, but it's rural employment. So another thing is you can make money in agriculture, but not only growing. You can make money in agriculture by buying products and by transforming products and in the services. You know what the biggest job creator is in rural Latin America right now? Tourism. So a young 18-year-old girl with a high school degree, technical vocational high school degree in rural tourism will never be poor. So this is the idea. What is the opportunity in the modernization, right? Everybody has a cell phone. Everybody has access to internet. So how do you train the young people to create value added in the rural areas of Paraguay? It's very difficult. But you don't want them to be starving farmers. And of course, this brings us, and one day we will talk about it, about genetically modified seeds. Because it is either 700 kilos per hectare or 3,000. It is a very interesting conversation. Yes? Yeah. All our information is open source. We even have in our Teach a Man to Fish, under the resource section, our school in a box for you to, it's like a free social franchise. All our curriculum are free. And what are the challenges? The challenges are the governments. The governments don't understand, don't care. They measure their performance by budget execution. They measure their performance by expenditure. But the quality of education is really, really bad. And so what we're trying to go is to move from outputs and activities to outcomes and impact. And basically, what is a fully employed young 18-year-old Brazilian girl that works in the Amazon? How do you solve that problem, or a Nicaraguan girl? You know, I'll tell you one experience I had in Nicaragua. We started a school there with a Swiss capital coffee plantation who had to solve the problem of the chronically unemployed workers and their children who work in the coffee plantation. And so we started a school there to train the children not to become prisoners of the coffee plantation like the father. And one of the things was a rural hotel. It works really, really well. But when I arrived there first, a Nicaraguan lady with a little red star in her beret said, is it true that you are teaching capitalism to the youth in Nicaragua? Me? Who told you that? The last thing I would do. No. I come from Paraguay, and in my country, parents are tired of their daughters and their son says, Mom, can I have money for my telephone? Mom, can I have money for the gasoline in the motorcycle? Mom, can I have money? So we are teaching the young people to learn how to make money so that they don't have to ask their parents all the time. That's what we need in Nicaragua. That's what she said. Yeah. Who are the teachers? Normal teachers who are reconverted to learn how to do learning by doing, selling, and making a profit, and retraining. And basically, you can retrain anybody to learn how to raise tomatoes, sell tomatoes, and learn how to make money out of tomatoes. I think that was it. Okay, one question. Yes. Yeah. Well, this is only one of our programs. We work with 100,000 families. We reach about 450,000 people. And our youth programs, because this is the full model, what we have done is in school, we have business clubs, which is one self-sufficient business unit per school, where the students are encouraged to generate one income-generating activity on campus to make real money to help the school fix the roof or buy a fan or something like that. So we have some, then we also have an international and national program that's called the School Enterprise Challenge, where we have more than 1,000 schools participating throughout the world. So yeah, this is just, these are the models, but then we replicate with different degrees of intensity, depending on the vocation of each country. But in general, for you who are interested in social entrepreneurship, you're going to have so much fun. It is difficult, it is challenging, but it is a fountain of creativity. Yes?
I think that's a great way to end this time. Martin, thank you so much.
I tried.